Welcome back to Meet the Annotators. My name is Brian. Today we have a very special guest star with us. The creator of beeupyou from about 10 years ago, as of October 2019. Meet CurtDogg, everyone. Say hi to everyone.
Hello. Hey everybody, what's up?
I heard you were from Something Awful, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean I'm basically from all over. Like I've been using the internet since like I want to say the mid 90s, but like it wasn't like with any like regularity. I started using it until like we got our first DSL line in like 99 or 2000. So yeah, I was kind of ahead of the curve in a lot of different communities. Like the first one I was on was called like Video Gamers First. It was like some like weird amalgamation of message boards from like Nintendo Land and Super Mario Brothers HQ, a lot of like Mario fan sites. But yeah, I didn't end up joining Something Awful until about 2005, I think.
mm. uh, so how was Something Awful? Was it good? Did it well as welcome? Later in the years.
Yeah, yeah, Something Awful was like it's felt really special to me because like I said before, like going to VGF and like any other just like message board like Megachan's Digimon Sekai or the Pokemon Line message boards or something like that. It's just like you just got a wide range of people and like very questionable people sometimes too.
The,
And
the days when Schmorky was highly regarded.
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, don't get me started on Schmorky. I can go on about that
Did you know
douche.
him, her well, or
They. I mean, not Facebook for a while. I mean, I was a fan of them for a long, long time. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I defended them in a time where it probably wasn't a good idea to defend them. But I didn't know them personally, though. But yeah, yeah. So like when I came to Something Awful, I thought that was like kind of a refreshing change of pace of like there being like this kind of quote unquote approval system of like how to behave and how to post and stuff like that. I mean, obviously there were like shit posting boards like YCS and Biov and Viad and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought yeah, it was definitely unique. I kind of like inadvertently became involved with like the goons with you remember like back in the day, like before YouTube, before like Twitch and Justin TV and all that stuff, there was a like Winamp had like their own like streaming video service called like Shoutcast or something, where like people could like locally host like streaming video. And there was one called GBS TV, which this guy Chris Putnam started, and yeah, yeah, it was basically like just all like goon made videos, just random internet videos and stuff, and that was like my introduction to Something Awful was via that, and it's like and at that point it was like, oh, if you want to request videos or upload videos, you gotta be a Something Awful member. So it's like that was like kind of the tipping point of me joining the Something Awful was through that.
hmm. Like I was born in '97, so I didn't really get all
Ooh,
the.
wow.
Yeah, I sound not too old. So yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
21. So I
All right.
I really didn't get into Something Awful. I actually never really got into it since there's like a paywall, and I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
I'm 12 years old at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, because like even when I was like registering for the first time, that was still kind of a new thing for me to just like why would I pay for anything on the internet? Like I could go to other I could post on another message board for
The
free.
4chan.
But oh, I don't yeah, well, when I joined Something Awful, I don't know if 4chan was even a thing yet. Uh
Jesus.
yeah, like I said, I've been around. I was born in 85, so I was in an age where like the World Wide Web just didn't exist to it existing in a very minimal form to to basically what we have now. So it's like yeah, it's so weird now trying to imagine life without the internet.
Mm.
Like with yeah, because like I mean I know there's a lot of people who were born with the internet, so it's like yeah, it's like I remember like when it was just like there was a time where it's just like if you didn't know something, you just forever didn't know it until you just somehow came across something at one point. But it's like yeah, it's just a weird feeling knowing that there's people out there that I'm talking to these days that were just like just had it right from the get go.
Yeah, what the fuck is books these days?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's some kind of like ancient tablet. I mean, I think that's where the term tablet came from. Was like a book or something. I'm not sure.
So, let's get into the real meat.
Yeah, yeah.
Control Delete. What was your first experience
Ooh.
with that comic?
Well, and I mean, it's hard to kind of admit that I was actually a fan of this comic at one point in time.
Jeez.
Um,
Really?
yeah, yeah. Like it was back when I didn't know any better. I mean, it's just like there were only maybe like 3 gaming web comics that anyone ever really gave a shit about. There
Penny
was
Arcade,
Penny Arcade.
VG
There
Cats.
was VG Cats was a little bit later, but it was like yeah, yeah. But in terms of like what I was like constantly reading, it was like yeah, Penny Arcade, Control Alt Delete, and I think it was like 8-Bit Theater.
Ooh, that
Was
is an old one.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm an old dude, so I mean, even then, it's just like yeah, those are the web comics I read. But in terms of like what I was looking at for like video game comedy, most of the time was Newgrounds. Like Newgrounds was my like heaven for that kind of stuff. But yeah, in terms of comics, like Penny Arcade and Control Alt Delete were the ones I was like regularly reading and like enjoying like for the while. And it's like and yeah, kind of going back to something awful. There was a subboard of the video games award called "Your Console Sucks" or YCS, and yeah, that's where I kind of started realizing how bad some web comics can really be. Because yeah, Control Delete was definitely one of the major one of the major comics they mocked, and at first I was like, why are they being so mean to this guy? This isn't that bad of a comic. Then just like over the months, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe this is really bad.
Does it make you feel sad that Control Delete is somehow now not the worst thing on the internet right now?
Uh, I don't know about sad. I mean, like if I mean any improvement is good in terms of in my opinion. So it's like him being not the worst is probably not the worst thing to happen ever. It just makes me sad that it's like yeah that there is worse. It doesn't make me sad that Control Delete is better. It just makes me sad that it's like, oh right, there's like way shittier things out there now. Like holy crap. Like oh, I was just saying it's just a weird feeling knowing that Control Alt Delete isn't the gold standard of anymore of like how not to make a web.
I don't know if you heard this before. Neglected Comics, Neglected Character
Oh,
Comics.
oh, Neglected Character Comic. Yeah, Jay Raceup. Yeah, me and him were actually really good friends. Yeah.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have no idea where he is like these days, but
He's sold out to casinos. And
yeah,
lottery.
yeah. That website is just like full of like casino ads for some reason.
It's a fucking
Um,
graveyard now. It's so sad.
yeah, like the last I heard of him, he was like getting a degree in like engineering or something, and like yeah, but I haven't really heard from him in a while. But I have talked to Kyle Orland recently. He's still kind of active in a lot of different spheres.
When was the last time you heard from Jay Resop? Like what year?
Uh, that is a tough one. I mean, it was still when I was using AOL Instant Messenger, so yeah, so it's been quite a while. And like even when I talked to Kyle, it was like he doesn't know where he is. But
I'd imagine he's either dead or probably has a life now.
yeah, probably either one. I mean, I'm hoping the latter. But,
Me too. I was joking about the death part. I really don't want him to die. YouTube annotations, like, you found out there was. How did you find out there was a Control Delete animated series?
That was during when I was a fan of the show. I mean, the comic. Like I heard, oh, there's like something called the CAD Premium, and there's like an animated series. That sounds cool. I mean, but like I never actually got around to actually subscribing to that, and like in retrospect, thank fucking God I didn't. But yeah, I was just kind of like impressed that he was able to get that done back in the day, and like I don't even know, like I don't even remember the first time I watched it. I think I was probably watching some like random episode somewhere. Like I probably like downloaded a torrent of them. a legal, totally legal torrent that is officiated by Tim Buckley. Yeah, you know,
I'm pretty sure he doesn't give a shit about that anymore.
yeah, I don't think so either. But yeah, I was just insanely curious about it, and even when I first watched it, I was like, this isn't good. Like holy, like there's like Newgrounds animators that do better jobs than this. Like holy cow.
Even Chris Niosi?
Chris Niosi. You know what? I'm not 100%. Oh, you know, no. I know who he is. Yeah, no.
Jesus Christ!
It took me a second to remember who that guy was. But yeah, it's like, this isn't very good, and the animation's not good. The voice acting's not good. Like there was probably some point in that period where I was in denial of like how good that show was. Like, but that was because like I was still kind of considering myself a fan at that point. But yeah, it wasn't until like. Yeah, way later, it was just part of the mockery of Control-Delete in that YCS thread, where it's like, okay, yeah, this guy's a fucking hack, and this cartoon's a hack, his comic's a hack, everything about this dude is a hack.
It apexed with Lost, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, oh my freaking god. Yeah, I don't, like, obviously Lost is still a big meme these days, but, like, man, it during, like, the ground zero of that comic first uploading was like a friggin' glorious occasion. Like there were so many people that were just like partly in shock and partly like thought it was friggin' hilarious that he thought he could do drama, because like it wasn't just that comic, it was like a series of comics he did for the past like 3-4 weeks about the aftermath of like, you know, Lila having the miscarriage. And yeah, there were so many people like mocking that comic and just like making these photos that I still think about to this day, where it's like the gif from like the Meet the Scout short from Team Fortress 2 of
I remember that.
the scout hitting the heavy in the stomach, but it's Ethan as the scout, like they pasted Ethan's head on Scout's head and Lila's on the heavies. So that's one thing I always like. I mean, that's awful. It's awful, but it's still like what pops in my head when I think about that whole thing. And it was just like everyone is having a fucking field day with that for like months and months and months.
I think it was, for me, is like the sheer audacity of him like completely making something like a video game comic about his, you know, personal relationship and his ex-fiance having a miscarriage of all things. That's just low count tier levels of, you know, mockery right there. Mockery potential.
Yeah, and there were like tons and tons of it. It was like especially in that thread, there was like any new Control-Delete comic, it was just someone who always just Photoshop that that last panel in of like Lila in the bed and like Ethan just putting his hands over her and stuff. And like that was like the running theme for like every comic that was posted in that thread. Yeah, like I said, it was fantastic.
I heard Tim Buckley these days said he finally got the joke and was in on it, especially with the anniversary.
I think there was some interview that he did where he just like kind of came around on the joke of it. But it's like I don't know how to feel about that, because like he was like treating that with so much seriousness, like, you know, with like personal experience with like a girlfriend having a miscarriage or something, and it's like to him like being in on the joke just seems weird to me. I mean, like obviously it's like I feel like a hypocrite saying that because, you know, we're all making fun of it, but it's like it just seems weird that he would be into making fun of it too,
especially with how personal it seems. I think I seen like a Kickstarter recently. He has like a wife and kids now, and that just feels so weird to me.
Does he?
Yeah, he even shaved.
I did not know. Wow.
He has a beard now and he's shaved.
Wow, that's so weird to think about. Like I just think of Tim Buckley, I think of just this like douchey bowl cut dude,
the don't fuck with
like,
us gamer,
being an epic gamer or whatever, and just thinking of him as like a family man is like the weirdest thing in the world. Like, no offense to him, but yeah, that's just weird.
I guess it's like you know, like Penny Arcade's creators, they kind of age. Everyone ages and they become dads, and they kind of lose their touch. Tim Buckley, he never had the touch, so he just had to rely on
Yeah,
memes.
yeah, basically.
So your method of ripping the episodes was from a torrent. So what was the? How did you spread around the annotated series? You just put it on your beeupyou channel, then threw it somewhere and said go nuts.
Yeah, basically that was the original idea. Like I wasn't aware until like a few years into YouTube until I like came across I guess like at one point 4chan did this whole like V sings thing where they like get a bunch of people to sing a certain song and like they did it to
Sonic Adventure 2
from
Battle.
Sonic Adventure 2. Yeah, so in retrospect I found out that it was like a friend of mine and like just add annotations to it and just like everyone's just shit posting all over the video and I was like this is interesting.
It's funny
Like
because actually,
just kind of pasting everything like video without really any like clear purpose or anything. So it's like when I realized that, yeah, after a few months of having that torrent, I was like, what if I did this with like, and yeah, that was like that was mainly gonna be the main focus of the channel. I was just gonna do that with Control Alt Delete. So like so that's why the channel was called beeupyou, because it's just gonna be this one-off thing where I just like dick around with this show. And so I did that. I tried uploading the first episode, and turns out those specific files were blocked from being uploaded to YouTube.
really,
So I guess so I guess like Tim Buckley or Blind Ferret Studios or whoever was in charge of that stuff like made sure that no one could re-upload those so people would actually have to pay for them on the CAD Premium or whatever.
yeah, I was about to
So
ask. I was about to ask
Yeah.
if Tim Buckley ever gave you shit on it.
I don't think he's ever I don't think he specifically ever said anything about it. Like I've never been in contact with him or anything like that. Like I thought I saw him at one year that I went to E3 in line, like when they first unveiled the 3DS. Like I was in line to check it out, and I swear there was someone in line who looked exactly like Tim Buckley.
Oh my
Then
God.
I was like yeah. So I was like pointing my camera around, just like trying to like acting like I was just filming the Nintendo booth or whatever, and I was like trying to get like a camera angle of this person to like kind of show people if it ended up being Tim Buckley, but I looked at his badge and it wasn't. So so yeah, I mean in retrospect that sounded kind of creepy to just like just kind of slyly film somebody, but no, but yeah, I've never been in contact with him. But anyway,
would you ever want to be in contact with him?
no.
No.
I don't think so. Nah, I don't know. I don't really have anything to say to him that he probably hasn't had. Actually, you know what? No, hold on. What is this Twitter handle? Tim Cat.
I have no idea.
Twitter.
I have no
Let me
idea.
check. Yep, Tim CAD. Click. You are blocked from following Tim Cad and viewing Tim Cad's tweets. So I guess I did interact with him at some point in time. So yeah, so I am blocked by Tim Buckley.
Well, okay, you heard it here first.
So
Tim Buckley hates Kurt. That's not a surprise at
Yep.
all.
Yep, nope, not at all. But anyway, so basically what I did, I just basically took those video files I got from the torrent and just ran them through legally gray version of Sony Vegas, and basically kind of I just like reconverted them down to like 240 by whatever resolution. I just like made them just a lower resolution to like see if that would actually bypass the auto blocking on YouTube, and yeah, that actually ended up working.
Holy
but what
shit.
I didn't realize, what I didn't realize until later was that the audio was just slightly out of sync. So I mean, that was like before I really knew anything about like properly encoding video and stuff. Like this was before like MP4s and H.264 encoders and stuff were like the norm. So it was just like Xvid or DivX or something like that. So it was just a really crappy video file.
I just thought the DVD came like that, just completely
No.
awful.
I mean, maybe it was. I don't remember it being, but it's like I think like looking back on like whenever I tried to like clip things in Sony Vegas, it was always like slightly out of sync, and that was just due to my shitty computer as well. But yeah, I mean, all that, like, the audio syncing was most likely my fault due to my incompetence.
So, the type of humor that was used on beeupyou, it was like all over the fucking world with annotators just
Yeah.
being saying the F word a lot, axie dicks, saying the N word, saying every kind of word.
Hmm.
What do you think
Yeah.
of the humor looking back on it?
Well, I mean, at the time, that's the thing, because like I posted that on 4chan, I posted that on Something Awful, and just told everybody to go nuts. And back in 2008, 2009, that was just kind of the norm for edgy humor. Like, that, like, even for me, like, I wasn't the one participating in that kind of, like, edgy slur humor or whatever, but it's like I still thought it was. I did think it was funny back then, because like it was before it was before I realized that there were people who actually thought that way about gay people or black people. So it's like, yeah, just
Jesus.
throw the slurs around, because no one in their right mind will actually act that way. So like back then it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's just the internet being the internet. But yeah, like sometimes looking back on that stuff can be a little
Hard.
awkward. Yeah.
I think
That was
it
one way
was
to put
part.
it.
I think it was part of the charm because, like, with Control Delete, I don't know if I'd say the same way with Mario Street Fighter, but with Control Delete, it's like the fucking the show is so shit that there's nothing redeemable about it. So you just may as well throw
Yeah.
in the N word a
I mean,
lot.
anything's a freaking improvement when it comes to that show. But yeah, yeah. So like I said, it's just like I kind of wish I got to some of those, like got around to maybe removing some of those slurs like sooner, before they removed the ability to like edit annotations altogether. But like I
I,
said, it's just a time capsule of humor, of like internet edgy humor at that time. So
that's
it's just
gonna
like you gotta,
that's gonna be killed, come the 15th because I don't know,
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, that makes me really sad. I mean, it's just like YouTube, and what kills me about that is that YouTube is our fault that it's dying. It's just like, oh, no one's using this feature anymore.
Yeah,
Cards more, so we're just gonna get rid of it. Like, you're the ones that took away our ability to use. So it's
yeah, because you haven't used them for
like aiming us for the removal of them.
because they couldn't even make it work on the cell phone videos. That's the most gut wrenching part of it.
Yeah, because like if you try if you try like watching YouTube videos on apps or on mobile, like the annotations don't show up, but again, it's like that's not really the user's fault. It's like your fault, making them compatible. I mean, you made cards compatible and like all that information stuff compatible. I have to wonder like how they coded those annotations.
I think I know some. I think you can ask him. I think he might have some information how they made it work, but I'm not gonna name him right here.
That's understandable.
What was the idea that after Control Delete ended, you decided to put on the Super Mario World and Mario 3 and Street Fighter? Where did that came from?
That basically came from me wanting this to end. Like there was like I feel like once Control, like I felt like I was a little short sighted with my goal with the channel. It was like, oh yeah, it's like I'll get Control, yeah, I'll put up tons of hours. And I realized, oh wait, there's only like 2 seasons of this, and once it's over, there's not really much else I can do with this system because we can't really do like comics or anything like that. Like it wouldn't like work the same. So I was just trying to think of what other just shitty cartoons are there that YouTube doesn't give a shit about. And I was recently rewatching some of the Mario cartoons, and I remembered, oh yeah, wow, this like Super Mario World and was a special kind of travesty, because like it was the last of the Deep Mario cartoons, and I feel like everyone involved in the production of that show was like just in terms of the writing, the animation quality, and everything up disaster. Like there was no consistency with the animation or character colors or just anything about that show. This is deserving.
I think Luigi's voice actor had some fun, especially with Mama Luigi.
Yeah.
Too bad he died.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a curse with like Mario cartoon voice. Well, it's not really people dying, but yeah, it's just like seems like almost every one of Mario and Luigi voice actors is like dying an earlier death than we would have liked. But
If Martinet dies, I'm going to blame you directly.
oh well, fair enough.
So like Super Mario World, that was, you picked that one first out of the Mario cartoons because that especially made you think, wow, that was really bad, and that's kind of why we did it backwards, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like Mario, yeah, Super Mario World was the worst of the Mario cartoons by far. So that was just the one I thought of, like right off the top of my head. Is like, yeah, this one's the most deserving of mockery. So it's like once that was over, it's just like, well, I don't know. These Mario cartoons were kind of fun to mock. So yeah, it basically ended up working backwards, and I even thought I thought the Mario 3 cartoon. Well, I like that one a lot as a kid because like Mario 3 is probably my favorite Mario game. Like even more.
What would Super
Yeah.
Show?
On that. Super Show, I did kind of like as a kid, but I liked more because like it was more colorful. It had more to do with the games, like all the power ups and like the mushroom worlds and stuff like that. I felt like it was more in tune with what I enjoyed about Mario.
Honestly, I think Super Show was the worst because of just how formulaic and by the lines the cartoons were. The live action segments were hit or
Yeah.
miss, but only because I love Danny and Lou's charisma and
Mm-hmm.
that. God bless them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still have a fondness for all those for most of those cartoons. I still think Super Mario World is like definitely a big shit show, but I still have a fondness for Super Show and The Adventures of Mario 3. And I almost didn't want to kind of mock Super Mario Brothers Super Show mainly because it was like
So fucking long.
front show. I
I'm sorry, you cut.
those even though they were terrible. Yeah, it was long. They were like of it, and I feel like Mario 3 was perfect because it was just like episodes,
Ow.
and yeah, I thought, and I with the next show.
So, I guess this is just about it. Do you want to say any more last words to any annotators, new or upcoming or old, or just any words of wisdom?
Get out now! You still have time. No, I'm kidding. No, just keep at it. You guys, like I said before, I feel like you guys have been like way more funny than I ever could have been with these shows, and yeah, I mean that's like mainly that's one of the reasons why I like haven't really been as active as I wanted to be because it's like I feel like I've just been kind of shown up by all the up and coming people and like veterans and stuff, but no, I feel like just keep at it. Like this is good practice for just kind of developing a sense of humor.
Stand-up
So
comedy.
it's like. Yeah, I don't know about stand up, but just like kind of, no. I mean, I feel like that could help too. But yeah, it's a good way to just kind of like kind of flex your chops a little bit, and just make good observational humor, or just like just kind of be a jackass, whatever makes you happy.
I'm glad to have you on, CurtDogg. It's been a great pleasure to have you, and Frank.
Yeah. This is a really fun interview. I mean, I've been meaning to really do this with you for a while, but yeah, it's just like it just ends up just being phone tag basically, just like one thing after another coming up. But yeah, I'm finally glad to have sat down and chat with you about this stuff. It was fun.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Favorite riff.
Favorite riff? Ooh. That is a toughie. I didn't even you really caught me off guard here because there's like so many different ones, but let's see. I mean, it's hard not to be kind of amazed in like that one like fake zombie apocalypse Control Delete episode where there was just a giant wall of "Don't fuck with us" when Ethan zaps the customer.
That guy looks like Spock.
Yeah, the guy that looked like Spock, and I absolutely love that. Just like continuous all, don't fuck with us, don't fuck with us, don't fuck with us. That just appeared on the screen is just like yeah, somebody had quite a lot of time on their hands to just make that giant wall. That just like kept continuing up, line after line after line to do that. That was really funny.
That was some dedication.
Yeah.
No, wait, actually, I just have one more question. Sorry.
All right.
I'll let you go.
It's okay.
How do you get to know Coconut Fire?
Well, he was just another annotator. Like, I was a fan of his video game dude stuff, and I think he eventually just came across the annotated series, and like after a while, I just started recognizing the name. It's like, oh yeah, Coconut Buyer. He did video game dudes, and yeah, I just stayed subscribed to his channel, and I really like all his other like cartoons that he does. So yeah, me and him are just mutuals on Twitter, and I support his stuff on Patreon and stuff, and yeah. So I'm hesitant to call him a friend because like I said, it's just like we just kind of like interact on Twitter every now and again. But it's like I'd like to be his friend.
You like to shit on publicly.
Yeah, exactly. We got that in common at the very least.
So I'm glad to have you on, and well, I guess it's time to say goodbye. All right. Say goodbye to CurtDogg, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Adios. See you next time.
Don't fuck with us.
Don't fuck with us. Worst come, beeupyou, and all that shit.
Yeah.
It's 10 years old right now. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's nuts. All right.
Bye.
All right, bye.